is a summative of a multi-day lesson. It's actually a summative of several multi-day lessons. It is the summative of scale drawing, of working with the proportionality of scale, and then it's bringing in the percent with discounts, tax, and total prices. You guys used everything you knew about rates, ratios, and portions in this unit to learn about percent and scale. Last couple days we've been doing specifically on scale. Today we're putting it all together. Your teams have been asked to find out the price of flooring if I find the flooring for bedroom number 1, bedroom number 2, and the living room. There's 2 different floor plans, so we will not all get the same answer. Okay? And if you take a look at this piece right here, these are the choices you get in your carpet and your tile. So your answer for your floor plan may not be the same as someone else's answer.
So what we're doing is finding all the dimensions and then finding the carpet cost and putting it in.
Good job. On the nose. We built up to this with, first we had to actually start way back with proportionality to discover how percent worked with ratios and how to, first of all, to even get to a percent, to arrive at a percent. And then we looked at how percent works with how percent works with either was it adding on to the price, taking off from the price, to understand the concept of what the word tax meant. When you found that percent, what did you do with it? And then we moved on to scale drawing and using again the proportion and ratios so that we could use a scale from a map to figure out the actual sizes of a room. We actually found a scale drawing of a football field and they had to convert it to the actual sizes of the football field.
We took measurements on how big the actual football field stadium was. Yep. And then we knew that the football field itself was 120 yards. That was 8 centimeters. We knew that 8 centimeters is 120 yards.
Now we're putting that all together and coming up with figuring out the size of the floor, how much the floor covering will cost, what the discount is, and that. I put the cards on your tables, the green cards on your tables, so please use those. If you have no questions, I will only be around to ask you questions that I want to know the answer to. If you have a red card over, I'll stop and help. We want to do that because kids need to know why they're learning things. They need to know that what they learned in isolation or learned in a different context applies to another context. And this lesson is actually taking 2 parts. It's taking scale drawing and percent and putting them both together to see that everything in math works together so that it's not, you know, unit 1 is done and over with, now we're moving on. We're bringing things from unit 1 into unit 2.
Yeah, the 40 equals 831.60.
Yeah. So you make 2.25.
Then we gotta find that per square.
Yeah, 9 times 10.5.
I actually used a observational checklist, and on the observational checklist I had the objectives for the day, which were computing the scale, the price, the total, the discount, the tax, and I was able to use that as a needs improvement, meets or is ready to apply, and I was able to make those checks as I went around and listened to groups. Explain to me why the store card discount is $1,500.
Well, that's how much it was like there.
All right, but that's
$280.
okay. So I'm going to take you back to the problems we did the other day, where this is my if I have 7% or shoot, if I have 15% of $100.
Yeah, then we multiplied it by.
Okay, is my answer 85? Or is my answer what I'm going to take off? My answer is what? Exactly. So when you record, you have an eraser, please use it. When you record the answer, you're not answering the question. So you really have to make sure. Because somebody who comes along and says, oh, this is a great proposal, we get to take $1,500 off of our price. Okay? So you can also record that number as the new price, but make sure that you record the sale price also, or what the discounts will be.
Oh, I like what you did.
To subtract
Did you take 15% off of each row? I want you to talk about that when we share out.
The biggest epiphany for me was that I had not thought of all the ways to solve the problem. I thought I had. And to be challenged myself during an activity that I was sure I knew all the answers to was interesting. Then this is your challenge activity. I did not give you dimensions for the kitchen, but I would like you to tile the kitchen. I want you to use everything that's already on here to see if you can figure out the length and the width of the kitchen, the actual length and the width, and then tile it for me. Okay? No, you didn't get to make up your own scale. You have to use the scale I gave you.
There is no scale for the closet.
Right, but I bet you can use a different room to find out how big it is. Why am I questioning that 15%? Or why did I know immediately $1,500 was not it?
Because that's more than what they had.
Yeah.
More than what they had.
Yeah, exactly. How did you figure out your tax? What did you use for that?
We did 1,791.75 times 100 divided by 8.5.
Okay, does the group agree with that? She says that you took $1,791.75 times the tax.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
We did. Well, after you move the decimal over twice.
Right, but did you use this total cost?
No, you had to use that one.
Did you use this one?
Because that's your new price.
Okay, as a team, will you double check which one you used for me, please? Common Core is not a passive experience. Common Core is active, is getting things, getting better things, improving what you did last time.
For the living room, it was 11 by 10, so that would equal 20 by 22.
And tell us more about how you got that.
We just times it by 2 because it's 170 for every 2 feet.
Okay.
Alright, and then we times those, and that got 440 feet. Squared, yeah. And we did Lupex mills too, and that's $1.89 per foot. And then when we did 440 times $1.89, we got 831.60.
You got the same one? Okay, we have one person verify it. Anybody else?
Yeah.
2? Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So good job on verifying on that answer. Guys, the only question I have is why, where it says 20 and 22, do you have square feet?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's not.
No, it isn't.
Why not?
Because that's just in how long it is and how wide it is, and that's not in square.
When does it become square?
When you multiply them, like, is it actual squares?
The biggest one that I'm hoping to show today is constructing viable arguments and critiquing the reasoning of others. That is the goal, to be able to take something that they've never seen before and putting it into making the argument, making the correct assumptions and validating their work, and then being able to look at somebody else's and see that they've made those connections also. Remember, you guys are going to be looking at the work of another classmate of the last class and deciding whether their work is accurate or inaccurate. Okay? I'm going to give you a critique sheet that you'll be able to fill out as you go through it, so that you actually have to do the work, to show the work, to check the work, you know? You can't just look at it and say, oh yeah, that's right. If they have a missed number, you've got to be able to find it.
So, yeah, you would take 17 times 17 because that would be the area. Yeah, because it's length times width. So you would take 17
I
times.
feel like a floor space of 289 feet would be way too much. Oh yeah, it is like times this, so I
Oh,
guess
they
it's
did,
17
I think they did that times that to get
And then you would take
94.5. If they got 85 from that.
Not from the 8.5, no. Look closer. Okay, so in your critiquing box, you should show that correct step that you just took and the correct answer, not on their work, but in your work. But then try, because you're doing the critiquing, you got to try and figure out where did that number $70,217.28 come from.
And then did that. I think they did it inches.
Okay. Okay, because you need to be able to tell them in their critique what they did wrong and why you think that's wrong. I never thought 20 years ago to have a conversation with a child on why something was right or why something was wrong. And now that's all I do every day. You know, I say, what do you know, what don't you know, what do you want to know? What does this number represent?
How much it all costs
Per what?
per square inch.
Do we sell things per square inch?
Yes, that's right.
If I'm buying this
something
title and it's a 12 by 12 title, can I buy that per square inch?
No.
What do I buy it by per square
Okay,
foot?
But, okay.
Okay, so we've got an issue with this one. Where their math is correct for what they figured it out,
Yeah.
is it a reasonable? Is it reasonable?
Should be.
Do you remember the conversation that we had yesterday about the football field and how we changed the football field from feet to yards?
Yeah.
Okay, and once we were dealing with area, what was unique about when we changed it from yards to from feet to yards, we did one thing, but when we went from feet squared to yards squared, we had to do something different. Do you remember? What was it?
For going from feet to yards, we multiplied by 3.
Okay.
And then we did, for changing it to squared, we had to do times 2 again.
Times 3 again, yes. So that we had to use the square number. Do you remember that? It wasn't just dividing by 3, but we had 2 dimensions, so we had to divide by 3 twice, or 3 squared. I think that's the same thing here. If you take 7225 times 2, what will you get? I feel like Common Core has made my teaching better because it makes my kids work harder. And I think that's the reward. I guess that's it. I guess the change for me was the reward I got from my students, that they are truly going to be ready for Park, they're going to be ready for life, and that they know how to problem solve.